So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. I got you here on the homepage of the GovCon Chamber because I want to start you off with all the content we continue to put out there. And one of my most favorite is this homework series. The government's always telling us, small businesses that are in the federal market, to do our homework as we're out there. So if I click on the Navy, for example, you'll see we have this whole Navy homework page. We can find a lot of content we've been putting out, trying to teach you about the Navy, teaching you about some of the sales processes. In certain points, we're talking about just challenges they might have that you need to do to fix, to make sure you're visible, where you can register. You can see a lot of this stuff on here. And one of the things we're doing today is going to look at a strategic document, but I want to look at it from the point of how can you sit there and find out the challenges that the government faces. One of the things that the contracting officers say a lot is that small businesses write a response to an RFP, and in that RFP response, they provide the technical approach, maybe making some recommendations, but a big part where they miss is linking what they're recommending and how their technical approach will fit into in this case, the Navy, and how it'll fit into the challenges that they have and the goals they've set for the next 5-10 years. And so how do you figure that out, though? And that's what a homework series is from my perspective. I want to show you, what do I do when I look at a strategic document like this one at a Carderock for the Naval Surface Warfare Center. And they've got a strategic plan here, 2019 to 2024. So it's their newest 5-year plan out there. And in here, I'm going to show you some content that as I go through, I look at it and I say, man, I got to include this in my response. And whenever I say include, I mean address it. I don't want to sit there and just cut and paste out of this document into my response. What I want to do is bring this information back to the proposal writer, for example, and say, hey, how do we tie together our response to what the government's saying here that's a challenge? So I'm going to walk through this document from that perspective, try my hardest not to get sucked down into the weeds too much on this because I do and I like it. But anyways, isn't this a beautiful document? I mean, I know it's an explosion and bombs and such, but I really like how whoever did this, just great job. Just wanted to say that. Okay, so these two pages, when you come here, I encourage you, if it's your primary agency, and so let's say the Navy is your primary agency, and you're looking at Carderock and saying, do I think this division in the Naval Surface Warfare Centers is one that fits to what I sell? Well, take a minute and read this. You can read some of these paragraphs, especially if you read a lot, you'll get faster. If you're concerned about, man, I don't like digging through a lot of documents, you can go pretty fast. You can look at a paragraph and go, oh, that doesn't really matter to us. So for example, right here, this paragraph here, it's really the commandant, commander, whoever it is, talking to their internal people. I don't need to pay attention to it. But then I see the cybersecurity. I'm like, okay, I'm paying attention to cyber. Let's look at that. The one thing that I like, and I don't need you to read it, I'll just tell you what it is. But down here, it gives me a hint on how this document's laid out. And they say that in this strategic document right here, they organize their strategic thought into 5 strategic pillars, and 3 foundational pillars. And the reason I point that out is because when I go to the next page, I've got this beautiful graphic. And if I go nowhere else on this entire document, this one here just nails exactly what I want. It tells me whether these guys sell what I sell. It gives me an understanding of what their future looks like, the things that they see, and I'll point some of this out. But as I mentioned right here, right, it's got 5 strategic pillars and 3 foundational. So here's the 5 strategic across the top. And then the 3 foundational: workforce, innovation, business process. And if you had read that document, you would have seen that they said that cybersecurity is a foundation under everything. So that's the new way of communicating how important cybersecurity is everywhere in DoD. Okay, so when I'm looking at this stuff, and I'll zoom in a second, but really what I'm trying to figure out here is, of these 5 boxes, which ones kind of fit in with what I'm looking for. And as I look at them, some things jump out. And let's say I'm in this IT, cybersecurity, cloud, whatever type of world. Well, I'm certainly going to move over to the right. These things on the gray box on the left, they don't really fit me. But as I come over into the right-hand side here, it's like reduce production costs and cycles. Well, I know how to reduce cloud costs. I could go in there and talk to the customer about that. And I know that's a priority of yours. And I can talk about this. See these strategic focus areas, platform integrity and performance. I could put that into my response and put our own response. I would almost consider, if I'm writing Carderock, I might actually even use that color as a call out, depending on what the proposal writer says, and they might not allow it, but to match the color to what they put in here. But as I look at this activity, I'm looking at the things that match into the world that I'm in. And obviously there's some in the orange, but the sweet spot for me in IT, and for anybody who's in IT, if you were in IT, for example, is the digital strategy right here in the blue. The things that they're talking about. Data analytics has been around forever, but it's a big part of what I do. You know, the company I'm supporting in my examples here. Digital twins are just, you know, I know some people won't say this way, but it's the future of how they really operate. And it's right here. They're telling us, we want to hear whatever you have to say, industry, about digital twins. Anything you can do to come in here and help us take advantage of this idea. And in a quick example of what a digital twin is you might have a ship. A digital twin is a digital battleship. So you're not having to build a second battleship to test everything out, et cetera. And you can apply that everywhere, digital processes, et cetera. And that's a future type activity that this company I'm supporting here would want to focus on. I can go in there and talk about it, and I know it's part of the Navy's future at Carderock. Same thing, as I come down, I'm just seeing everything that I would want to talk to them about: model-based engineering, virtualization, and cloud-based architecture. So this says DevOps, but DevSecOps, security ops, that all fits in. And so I would want to be trying to talk about that to a certain degree. If I go back to any of my points of contact at Carderock and I begin to knock on doors, I'm trying to find who owns digital strategy over there. How can I learn more? And then here's just some more as you look at them and see where they fit in. Some of these are just way above wherever I might fit in, but you know, cyber resilience. But you can begin to see how this document, let me zoom back out here, how this document nails, and I just want to figure it out here, get it back to a good page, how it nails what I sell and where they're at. So I'm like, all right, this is the future. And I'm going to show you where they talk about their challenges in a minute. These workforce innovation and business process, because I see that and I see them saying this is a foundational set of goals, and I want to make sure I'm using the right words, foundational pillar, right? Because these are foundational pillars, I would want to figure out how to work those into my response, right? If it makes sense, but generally just to acknowledge that we understand the foundational area of Carderock is workforce innovation business process. We fit in here up in the digital strategy area this way, but it's showing them that we understand what they're trying to do, and we're seeing our solutions or our services and products fitting into what they describe on this page in this way. That's what we would be writing. And that's what I look for when I look at these things. I'm going to come down this page here. I'm going to skip in a second because there's another page right after this that's pretty similar. But the whole point of these two pages is to see how everything flows together. And this goes back to what I talk about when you really want to have a primary agency, meaning an agency that you want to know everything about. That's business development. You're really understanding the agency. You're identifying opportunities, even shaping opportunities, helping them think about the future. That's business development. And so what I always say is you want to know it better than almost anybody in the Navy. Think about it. It's not that hard, actually, because in the Navy, everybody's got a job, and they're in this command, or they're in that command, and they're trying to do a good job at what they're doing. But because you want to know everything about the Naval Surface Warfare Centers or the Navy or NAVSEA in this example, you would begin to see all of these documents tie together. In this particular scenario, you're seeing how the strategic plan lines back up to NAVSEA's Expand the Advantage. This is 2.0, but if you pay attention to what's out there, you'll see that 3.0 is out there. And so even though this document's fairly new, they've just released the 3.0, and they all still tie together: maritime superiority and then the national defense strategy. All of these are feeding down into the strategic pillars that the strategic plan defined. So the 5 strategic pillars and 3 foundational pillars, with kind of an aside for cybersecurity. Okay, so these next 3 pages, I'm not going to really pay attention to, except for to point out to you, you see how it says ship and submarine, and right below it says goal, people, tools and technologies, and facility. And you'll notice as you go through, it's the same process that they follow for how they're laying this out. And so goal, people, technologies, and tools and facilities. You want to read this and understand it when it makes sense to you. So for my scenario, I don't really care about ship submarine design. I'm going to skip that. Unless I'm glutton for punishment, I'll read every page. But when I get down here into the digital strategy, right, this is that strategic pillar that I want to focus on. And in here is where I can really begin to understand what matters to me as far as, I hate that part. Let me come back here really quick. Sorry, zoom out. Okay, so page up. Let me try the zoom again here without going too much. So when I look at the goal, right out of the gate, we're a data analytic company, is this example company I'm using for this video. And it's saying right from the beginning, our goal is to expand the application of data analytic and data-driven decision-making. We want to leverage this data to improve the fleet decision makers. I've seen this before in other documents, and so I'm able to tie it all back together. As you look at some of the tools they have, but right here, tools and technologies, it nails it on 2 big parts of this company that I'm using as the example: data analytics and digital twins, right? We want to improve sensing, data collection, formatting, all this activity, and the use of data analytics and digital twins for representations of the fleet platform. So this is all, what I was kind of alluding to up above. Same thing with some of these other things. I don't need to read it too much to you because you might not be in there for IT. But when you look at this, I'm seeing all of my buzzwords: develop machine learning techniques, modeling and simulation. These all fit in tightly with what I want to do. So I'm going to knock on Carderock's door. I'm going to learn more about them because it's a fit between what we offer and what they need. And so we'll go in. And that's what I want you to do, is to find any of these documents where they lay out, look, our strategy is this, a goal, our goals, how we see the people that we need to be able to accomplish these goals, the tools and technologies. And then up above, you saw the facilities. There's less facilities for digital. Okay, and then you just see that same example here. Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so the same example here. I'm not going to walk through it, but the next page, so the next one was the same thing. But here now we're moving into those foundational pillars that they were talking about: innovation, business process, and workforce. It's funny, I think they have them backwards, but anyways, in here though, I want to come in and see, what are you talking about? This is really important to me because I'm not necessarily selling them something that's in the innovation side or workforce side, but they're telling me that, hey, Neil, these are our foundational pillars, the foundation of everything we're trying to do. You need to know that. You need to be able to tell us how you'll fit in with our foundation and how you'll not become a distraction to what we're trying to achieve, but you'll actually strengthen those foundational pillars that we're describing. And so that's why I look at those. Let me go ahead and come down here one more time. This last thing I'll just mention to you, it's a side thing I do, but it's really important to understand. I just look at who signs this document. Most of these people I didn't really, and whenever I say I don't care, don't take it like I don't care. What I mean is it's not important to me at this moment. So, some of these people, I don't care. Platform integrity department, Jeff, I don't know what that is, and I don't have time to learn about it. What I'm looking for is things that pop out. So no offense to Jeff, right? But all of these people, I basically think are a little bit outside my range to be knocking on the doors early on, right? I want to learn more maybe about the organization, but one person does pop out, and it's the head of contracting and acquisition department right here. That's a good one for me to track, because now I can go look and see, and I did do this, right? Just by finding this person's name here, I went on the internet and I do some searching, and I find that he's done other presentations where he's talking about the priorities of contracting at Carderock out there. And and his decks lead me down this path of, hey, here's opportunities coming out. He also did some information where he's briefing about Carderock from a different angle than the strategic plan. So just take a minute and go look at that, and it's really helpful down there. Okay, so that's the quick thing I wanted to show you on this. If you found this content valuable, others will too. Please give it a thumbs up so they can find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn. And then we often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers. Sign up for the GovCon Chamber's email list to be notified about these opportunities right here on this website, www.govconchamber.com. And you can find that right here to sign up. There's a link right on the homepage. Finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Help us bring this great content to you for $1 a day. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.